Welcome to Order of the Black Flame Sun with your host and High Priestess, Lucifer von der Stippen. Tonight we have a special guest to talk with us about some awesome stuff, Miss Austie Brittany Turner.
Hey girl, hey.
And Miss Brittany Turner is a good friend of mine. So Brittany, I want you to tell our guests a little about your upbringing and your history.
Well, I am just like every other girl in the world, just trying to be myself, I guess. I guess it helps that I am transgender. I guess I was raised in a non, how can I say this? Like, my family was crazy, cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. So my mother was a, all-girl rock band named Tantrum, and my father was a cult pastor in the Christianity religious fanatic cult I'd call Calvary Chapel. And he was basically, I like to consider him one of those hypocrite Christians, one of those people that are like, so, like, we had to hold hands at the restaurants and pray in front of everybody. We went every Sunday to Sunday school and had to go to the church and went to, like, fellowship during the week. And, like, my weekends consisted of writing Bible verses in my room. I had to write, like, the book of Bible. I literally wrote the Bible, like, 3 times in my whole life as a kid. I was like, I hated my Saturdays. And we would, like, sing guitar. Like, we were, like, the Partridge Family, but it would be Christian songs and hold hands and seance. So it was, like, crazy. And, like, so, yeah, of course I grew up to be transgender and the rebel and kind of, like, beep on every Christianity type function. So
how was your family, like, being the type of family that it was? Like, how were they with sexuality?
Sexuality was never discussed. They literally, so ever since I was 2 years old, they fucking knew. Like, they knew, like,
Austie Brittany's got a little something special about it.
Absolutely. Like, I'm sitting there getting Tonka toys and fucking, like, Transformers. I'm like, what the fuck is this? So I keep them because they're dolls. And I'm like, okay, And then my sister gets Barbie, and she's, like, not even excited. I'm like, bitch, you give me that right now. And they're like, la, la, la. So I take the Transformers and the Barbies and their boyfriend and girlfriend, and they're fighting. And the next thing I know, I start putting them together, thinking, like, they're kissing, but really it was, like, a humping motion. I had no idea what the fuck I was doing. Seriously, right? Seriously, And then, like, I would get, like, 2 boy dolls. And I'd be like, oh, yeah, let's do it. Yeah, kiss me. Like, I didn't understand anything. But my entire family knew exactly what the fuck I was going to be. And they did everything in their powers to keep me in the closet, restrain me from watching, like, LGBT plus TV shows. I couldn't even watch Tu Wong Fu, bitch. Like, that was like, when I saw it later on in life, I'm like, oh, my God. This is what it was all about. Like, they knew.
So your perception of, like, being gay and then being transgender, like, that was just something that came to you at a young age?
Well, like
before you even knew what really sex was?
Exactly. I had no idea. And then I'm growing up in middle school feeling like Pee Wee Herman, a freak weirdo. Like, they had to cut my hair like a buzz cut military cut. I was like a little fat kid. I collected Beanie Babies, I'm like, what the fuck's going on? And all I remember is just, like, I had a lot of girlfriends in school, but they, like, kept me going to different schools, so I could never be in the same school more than once, it seemed like. So, but, like, getting dressed in the locker room, it was like, oh, my God. I just didn't want them to see my chest. I just felt so self-conscious. I was like, oh, my, but I'm, like, looking at them getting their underwear, like, oh, my God, why am I staring at this guy? Like, he's just so cute, and I don't know what, like, I didn't even know what cute meant. I was just, like, so attracted to, like, like being a little perv, I guess. Yeah. I'm not trying to be pervert.
I could relate, but the opposite way.
Right? Exactly,
yeah,
right?
So you were like a girl going through puberty, but like you're in a boy's body.
But like I had no even idea. So I'm like, the kids are making fun of me because they're like, "You're gay, you're a fag." I'm like, I don't even know what the fuck that meant. I'm like, okay, whatever that means. And so like when I got into high school later on, like I literally had to pick the ugliest girl in high school. This girl literally foamed at the mouth just to be like, she's my girlfriend. This is my girlfriend. And, like, she's like, can we kiss? I'm like, no, bitch, no. Like, what? Ew, no, girl, no,
So
bye.
do you feel like you were hiding, like, your sexuality, or you just didn't really know much about sexuality because of, like, religion? Because I know for me growing up, like, sexuality was a thing that was never talked about. So when I went through puberty, like, I didn't know what the heck was going on.
So in my family, my father, any self-expression was considered
evil.
The devil,
yes!
Satan, demonic. If I wanted to wear shorts, okay, I was in 3rd grade. I went to Folsom Elementary School in Folsom. Shout out to Folsom. All the kids would wear the school colors, which were teal and navy blue.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll never forget this. All the girls would wear 2 tones, like 2 socks.
Mm-hmm.
One would be blue and then teal. So of course I'm like, I want to be like everybody else. My father beat the shit out of me and said, if I ever see you wear these fucking socks like that again, you're a fucking boy. What the fuck are you doing? And he would like, when I mean beat, I mean like choke me out, slap me in my face, take a belt to my body, and like beat me. And like, so what I did is I just became sneakier. I would sneak him in the backpack and just put him out of school, and then my sister would rat me out, and then I get the same beating anyway. So I was just like, I learned to develop this I don't care, I'm going to do it anyway type mentality. So how in the 3rd grade.
How are your parents when it came to sexuality? Were they like, did they ever show any affection towards each other? Because I know sometimes in religious homes, even the parent, like my parents, like are weird about sexuality with themselves.
I didn't find this out till later on.
An apple usually doesn't fall too far from the tree,
right? Exactly. My father, he was never like, he never made his own money. He always used women. Like, all the women had the jobs, the financials. He was, like, the succubus of everything. But he was so, like...
That male-dominant patriarchal that the man rules and all that.
Exactly. But, like, he needed religion to back all that. Like, oh, I'm the man. I was like, nah, use a broke welfare motherfucker who cleans fucking gutters or whatever the fuck he was doing at the time because he couldn't get a real job because he's a fucking bum.
But he wanted to hide behind religion. Huh?
Exactly. And force it down everybody's throat. But, like, I couldn't wear 2-tone colored socks. Fuck you, you know? Like, I couldn't say cuss words. I couldn't say shut up. I couldn't, like, it was, like, so, like, militarily structured cult fanatic Christianity at its best. Like, the only thing we didn't do was talk in tongues. And, like, that was probably the next thing we're doing. So.
And you know what, Brittany? Like, I've noticed that some people, that when it comes to, like, you know what? I'm glad to be a recovering addict. But, you know, I feel sorry for those people that are religious addicts. They use religion as an addiction to back up everything that they're doing.
And he was a drinker, too.
Like,
and it was like...
children and all that stuff.
He was an alcoholic as well. He was, like, low-key drinking.
Of course he was.
And, like, during, like, this 4th of July, like, I'll never forget, like, during the 4th of July, like, I couldn't even play with sparklers because it was considered witchcraft. Our teachers would give us book assignments, like, to read, like a fantasy book or so. I wasn't even allowed to watch Power Rangers or X-Men because they were satanic devil symbols from hell. And they were trying to, like, he was the dad that would go in the class and be like, I'm sorry, my child's not allowed to read this book. There's witchcraft in the book.
Well, you know, Brittany, the Bible is a very magical, satanic book, actually, right? And
girl, do I know.
Actually, a Satanist rule the world, so in a way, I guess he was right, but he was at the same time scared of his own sexuality.
Honey, that, I always said he was the bitch in the relationship.
Do you think he was ever gay?
Oh, my God.
Because usually the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree, and you learn it from somewhere.
My mom was a heroin addict and a party girl, and they met on acid in the Navy, of all places. In the Navy. Thank you.
In the Navy.
In the Navy.
In the Navy.
Why?
You heard it first, right here. I'm bored of letters up.
Don't ask, don't tell. Don't ask, don't tell. But anyways, so basically, like, fucking, he then married my stepmom, and she had fake implants. And I was always so, like... And she sold, like, fucking cleaning. She worked for a company called Advance, and she sold, like, industrial sides, like, cleaning machines. But she had all the money. And of course she cheated on him because he's like such a fucking lame and can't perform in bed. And I found all this out later on because he journaled about it when I got older. And I'm like, oh, so I, of course, would make copies of it because I'm vindictive, you know?
Yeah.
Like, he always used to beat me and shit. So I'm like, I need some ammunition on this motherfucker.
Do you ever think at some point that he was
So much
scared to
trauma.
come out of the closet with his own stuff?
We don't talk to this day even because of that shit. Like, he is so, like, he thinks, to this day, he's like, when I was 18, he wrote me a disown you letter saying,
Wow.
You're not my son. I disown you. You need to get right with God first before you come talk to me. Like, you need to find the spiritual principles. And I'm just like...
And, like, how does that make you feel, like, knowing that that's just how you've always been in your mind?
Well, like, I didn't find out about sexuality till, like, high school when there was one gay kid in the school.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, so what does it mean to like boys? And, like...
So you just came out and asked him that.
I thought it was gay. I really thought it was gay. And I realized later on in life when I was 16 that I wasn't gay, it was transgender, and it took me going to juvenile hall to find that out. I actually spoke to a real clinical therapist. I was like, I don't think you're gay. I think you're transgender. I'm like, what the fuck is transgender? And as soon as she explained it to me, that next day I told everybody I'm no longer that person. My name is Brittany because I'm a Britney Spears fan.
Hello. So for myself and for the listeners, can you clarify what the difference is on those between being gay and transgender?
So, being gay is somebody who identifies as a man that is attracted sexually to another man.
Mm-hmm.
A transgender is somebody who identifies as being born a female
Mm-hmm.
and wants to be a female, but is just born in the wrong body.
Mm-hmm.
And basically is going through, some go through transitions, some don't. I wanted to transition when I was younger, but they wouldn't let me, so I had to wait till I was in my 20s to do it, as soon as I was, like, legal on my own, free.
Mm-hmm.
And, so yeah, that's the difference between a gay person and transgender, because they get it so confused. And we're not drag queens. We don't do this for fun. Drag queens are just gay men that like to dress up as women for performance for money.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
Mm-hmm. No, for any of you all that don't know Brittany is the most girliest person I know. She's always wearing pink, Barbie, all the time. She's an awesome personality, very outgoing, and
love.
the life of the room. Always got you on your toes rolling. But we're going to take this into a part 2 podcast. So we'll see you in part 2.
Stay tuned.